Hello and welcome to round number 7 of the TCR series here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the home of touring car racing really in Britain. I must say, we're near the end of the season now, only a few more rounds to go. As we'll hear a bit of drifting from Andre there as they start their first laps in qualifying as we head into the last few rounds of the season in England. I think the second time we've actually gone to a British circuit this season, so a little bit less than the season before, but this is an absolutely fantastic circuit to be racing. I'm joined today by Paula and Biggles. Be joining me as we start qualifying. Hello to you, Paula, and of course Biggles, which is over in Australia, just doing an update, which of course is going to take a little bit longer to do. But yeah, we'll just get the championship standings up on screen just to show where everybody is at heading into round number 7. Of course, 2 more races today. It was a lot happened last time out at the Ossenfleiben. 2 new winners this season. The first round where Brandon hasn't taken a win in the championship all season long, so his title chance is still fantastic, but the gap did come down just a little bit last time out. It's extremely close behind him though. It's a point between 2nd and 3rd. It's a point between for 5th and 6th, and there's Marcelo there, which is a couple of points off, and then there's Steve in 4th, which is only a couple of points ahead, so there's a lot to ride on near the end of this season, I must admit. So there's a lot still going on in, well, all the prize points places. So Brandon, you know, got a bit of a gap, but everybody else is still extremely close as we head into round number 7. See where they're at, because it's a very short lap, this one, of course. See what everybody is doing in who's where. So it is Stefano that is currently pole, but we will see the times definitely fall into the 48s. I'm certain of that. I don't know if they go any lower, but definitely get into the 48s, I must say. Round here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, of course. Paula, I don't think you've really ever driven this track, have you? If I remember rightly.
I have on the F4 seasons that we had, even on ASR.
Oh, you drove it then, did you?
Yeah. Usually not this layout though, the Indy layout. I mean, usually I prefer to drive faster cars, so they use the full layout.
Yeah, full layout, to be fair, last time out, last season was some great racing in the full layout. There was a free wide action between a few different cars. But we started the season last season here at the Indy Circuit, and it was absolutely fantastic as they're now into the 140. They're into the 49.1s, nearly into the 48s. Yeah, the racing should be good today. It should be very hard racing. There is lots of chances to overtake as Aiden Young goes pole with a 49.0. He had a good race last time out in the IMSA series, I must admit. So he's looking to carry some momentum here into the TCR series. Just behind one of his teammates there.
I think it's gonna be weird because it is a short track and everyone's like super together.
Yeah, just like Ossenfleiben, everybody was quite close, weren't they? But of course, that was a longer circuit. That was about a minute and a half. Here, we're into the sort of the Lime Rock situation where it was quite close as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You have to either get out of the way for the others to pass you if you're coming out of the pit, but it's really a short amount of space that you have from the car ahead. Maybe someone will use that as an opportunity to get slipstream between each teammates, or well, just be lucky with traffic, I guess. As Brandon finally also crosses on the 48. And Marcelo.
Which did get his first win of the season last time out, takes pole for now. He did fall down the order, and he is in a fight in the championship to try and get back up, and he'll be looking to make amends this time round. Who else took a win last time out? If I'm not wrong, was it Lemieux? I believe not wrong. I believe.
Oh yeah, I think it's Andrea.
Was it Andrea that took a win? It was, wasn't it? It was by a 10th in the reverse grid race. Andrea, which massively deserved. He has been quick at circuits like not Lime Rock. I think Long Beach was one where he was quick as well. Yeah, he's been improving throughout the season, and he'd be happy to take a win. And Brandon has got 2 purple first sectors with a car right behind him, following around. But we've got 17 cars. It looks to be today. Got a couple during the season, but still a good crowd of cars into round 7 out of 10. And Brandon goes. Does he improve the pole? It doesn't look... No, he does improve the pole. Someone has been his first sector out there somewhere, I must admit. But for now, Brandon takes pole back with a 48.666. Andrea goes P5. Not sure who it was that beat the first sector, but continuous laps here. Everybody's just out on circuit doing lap after lap after lap on this short Indy circuit. As Marco improves in P3 there. A driver that will be looking to try and pick up a win, as he's done very well this season, I must admit. So he'll be some good results, good podiums. Marcelo's gone purple first and last, but not the best in the middle. He does improve, but doesn't beat Brandon. So it is a very close qualifying here, which is exciting, and it could be close for these next 2 races today.
It is one thing I'm not actually sure about touring cars, because I haven't driven in a long time, I admit. But I don't remember if the tires get better as the race goes on. Because in this qualifying, you can actually do about more than 15 laps. About 16, 17 laps, just without pitting. Just call straight up 16 laps of qualifying. And probably they get better as the stint goes on. I forgot about it.
Probably wouldn't be too surprised if we get a bit of heat in the tyres, as Steve changes wheel colours. He's now gone for the blue one, so it's even brighter, his car. It's probably the most racing lap they're going to complete in the whole season, isn't it, this circuit? Think about it. If you're saying they're going to get quite a few in qualifying, of course, 15-minute race, they're going to get quite a few in the race too, as Brandon continues to improve. Now stretched his advantage to just about 2 temps, or just under 2 temps, as Masagomo goes P3. So everybody is continuing to improve. We'll see if that eventually dies out. We'll see if the tyres do get hotter. I wonder if the circuit course gets hotter as well as we go. The amount of cars that are on it, I'm sure the grip levels are going to be improving each lap. Steve crosses the line, and I don't think he improves, but he does. He goes P3 actually. So Steve up into the top 3 spaces. Marcelo is on another one. Comes to the line. No, he's off on that one, I think. And he is off on that one. Brandon's got 2 yellows, so he doesn't look like he's improving. Who is out there that possibly is? Robert might be improving. Race winner this season, of course, from Lime Rock Park. Currently sits P6. As Jake improves into P12. Dario just ahead. Does he improve? Dario doesn't. Does Robert improve? He doesn't look like he does either. So they're all close to the times. We've got just few improving, few not. Are we seeing the Pete Lemieux out there? Does he improve? Both P6. He's now into the 48s as well. Top 7 all in the 48s. And Aiden Young is dead on a 49 there in P8. Look at him, 49.000. Lovely lap time there. 5 temps separates the top 8. Buddy improving Andrea might be as he comes to the line. And he does. He goes P5. Another car into the 48s.
Times are really close between P4 and P8. Yeah, like it's what do you call 16 hundredths of a second. It's a hundredths, right? Say in English.
Yeah, it'd be hundredths if it's the second
Yeah.
digit over, yeah. It's extremely close racing. Brandon has Marcelo, by the way, behind him getting some toes, so this is interesting here. Smart by Marcelo to find Brandon and follow the leader almost as they cross the line. Brandon doesn't improve. Marcelo doesn't either. No, he does actually. Marcelo does improve, but he is stuck up behind Brandon and using the far. There you go. Brandon's going to get out of the way of Marcelo there. He's not going to help his rival. He's not going to give him any sort of toe down the straights here at Brands. A little bit of tactics going on maybe in qualifying already. Fascinating to see. Is Marcelo going to improve? Now Brandon's up behind Marcelo and he's going to use him as a bit of slipstream on his next lap. So fascinating to see if Marcelo does this lap and then slows down. Actually, Brandon has dropped off the back of Marcelo, so maybe not. He maybe wants some clear air instead. Marcelo on 2 yellows, so it doesn't look like he's going to improve here from second place. But 5 more minutes to go in qualifying still. Nearly everybody's out there. Everybody bar 1 car is out on track, would seem at the moment. Race directors, of course, today are George and Andy are the race directors today. One of them wants to say hello on thing. Just make sure that's all working. It should be working, but a hello to you, of course. Often George is in the chat as well. So our race directors, very ready for a bit probably chaotic Brands Hatch. Remember the last time we came here, the only time it was a bit chaotic was the first turn, and to be honest, I think there was 2 crashes before turn 1, so we'll see if that happens again today. But Marcelo,
What do you mean first turn is the one that goes downhill?
yes, they crashed before. But round about now is where they crashed before the corner. So
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like on the straight. Yeah. It
Yeah.
didn't even reach the breaking point.
No, not at all, yeah. So Marcelo, another improvement there. Getting closer and closer. Andrea improves in P5. But yeah, so we'll see if that happens again today. But other than that, no real drama. It's a great race circuit for some good side-by-side action. We should expect some good racing today. And these drivers know each other well now. It's 7 rounds into the season. They've raced against each other already about 12 times. So they should be fully aware of how to drive alongside each other, and there has been some great racing throughout the season, and including last time out with, remember rightly, Brandon. I know it went horribly wrong at the end where he tabbed Robert and spun him around for P3 right at the last second, but it was a good race before that, and there was a lot of good clean racing between a lot of drivers, so we should be in for a good treat today as we get closer and closer towards the end of the season and look towards the next one. But there's a lot of drivers that still have a lot to win and play for, so it should be some good hard racing.
Yeah. We will see if, Braden still sticks it up on the first place position through the first race. Otherwise, if he does it like last race on Nordschleiben,
Yeah.
it's gonna be complicated for him. He didn't even get to start on the race 2 because he finished on P9. Yeah, we'll see.
Do you think this circuit's easier to pass in Ossersleben, or what do you reckon?
The best? No.
No?
But to drive, it's probably easier with these cars. I don't think it's easy. I mean, both tracks have like long corners, but this one seems a bit hard to stay side by side because everyone who's on the outside is going to take a big disadvantage. So you always have to stick it on the inside. You cannot go side by side to the next corner on this. Especially with cars like these that always require a big push on the throttle at the exit. But we'll see. Anything can happen in touring cars, We've seen that happen a lot. Tracks that probably didn't have much overtaking, at least on the first race. On the second race, there's a lot of moves happening.
Yeah, Long Beach, for example, there wasn't much on race 1, but race 2 was a little more chaotic, I must admit. That was some good racing there. But yeah, it does, of course, race 2, reverse first grid for the top 8. Boys does spice it up a little bit. Nice helmet there from Aiden, I must admit. But yeah, race 2 will spice it up if there isn't any overtaking in race 1. But looking at how close the lap times are, I'd be surprised if they're not, as Marcelo takes pole, and not by much, but he's done it. With about 30 seconds to go, and when the timer goes, that's it. Does Brandon even have enough time to respond? I don't
This is going to
know
be
if he
the first
does.
time that Brandon doesn't get a pole position.
It might be this season, yeah, unless he didn't get pole at maybe round 1 because of Damien. That's a possibility, but if he doesn't improve here, he's got 5 seconds to get to the line. It looks like Marcelo is going to have pole and not by much. And definitely not an improvement there. So Marcelo takes pole for the first time this season after his first win of the season last time out. It's a good start to the day for Marcelo. He'll be happy with that one.
Seems like Marcelo really is picking up on the second part of the season. He struggled on the first part. You can even see it on points that he was a bit behind where he wanted to be. But now it seems like he finally got the groove back and actually challenging Brandon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the start season definitely wasn't challenging him as much as he would have liked, but we'll see now what he can do. A bit far off for anything in the championship, but he has got to drop down to I think about P7 now, so he'll want to make amends for that. But
There's the grid.
oh, where is it? There it is.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead, Baller. Yeah.
Okay, so Marcelo with his first pole position of the season. Brandon starts second. Marco Benatelli starts P3. Steve Haywood starts P4. Andrea Romi P5. Massimo Boni P6. Stefano Guiducci P7. Aidan Young P8. Lemel Mironi P9. Robert at P10. Paulo at P11. Dario Raffetta in P12. Alex at P13. Jake Instead at P14. Ferran at P15. Craig Vaught at P16. And Marco didn't put a lap on qualifying, starts at P17. Actually, does Marco even start from the pit? No, he is graded. He just didn't do qualifying. Could be a penalty from the previous races, but now he starts on the back of the grid.
It does. Maybe. It could be easily a one, like as you said. Here we go then. Race 1 of the day. Marcelo's on pole. Brandon second. Who gets the best launch? A little bit of creeping there from Marco in P3, but who gets the best launch? Marco doesn't because of that. Andrea in the Audi gets a good start. Marcelo is away and gone. He'll be happy with that start there. Let's see how this all goes into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of contact, I think, further back with Marco, but he's still sliding, kept it in the right direction. Everybody goes round him. I think everybody is fine. They're nearly 4 wide. I think they're 3 wide into the hairpin. Lots of bumping. Marco's had a very poor start. He'll be upset with that one. Apparently a crash further back between Craig and Jake. I think Jake has spun round. There's a bit of door-to-door bumping through the next corner, but everybody has come out the other end just about. I mean, just about. A little bit of passing there. Massimo gets ahead just behind Alex and Fran side by side, and that's well wide from car number 9 of Fran, and Alex will take spot that. Marcelo has led the first lap though, with Brandon basically pushing him across the line, but as they all come across, I think everybody's still going. Jake and Craig have got back going further down the field, so it was nearly a clean getaway, but Marco in P3 had a bad start and has dropped well down the order to P9. He'll be upset about that as Aidan Young up past and probably looks like he's made just fall back there into P7. Maybe went a bit too deep into the hairpin. Single file, it seems, Paulo.
Yeah, it does seem. But, you know, it's still a long race and you're gonna see a lot of laps on this track. Possibly because it is so short, the track, we will see some blue flags as well.
Yeah, it is a possibility. Stefano just up ahead. Maybe makes a move on Andre. But Marco looks to try and make some places back after that poor start now. Wants to get back onto P8 and past Dario he goes. Up the inside of turn 1 and through Marco goes. Making up for a poor start. And Robert is going to follow him through there. Just behind into P9 goes Robert. Of course, P8 the place that you want for pole in race number 2. So it's not a bad place to finish if you're not going to make the top 3. So that will be the aim for the drivers around this area now. Get P8 for pole. As off and wide goes Alex Bennett was receiving P13. He did find his way back onto the circuit. We may look to see at what the drama was lap 1. See if anyone's going to make a move there for now. Let's have a little look at what happened to Jake, shall we then, on lap 1. Marco was really sideways up ahead, so he's with his 2 teammates on his inside, so something's going to go horribly wrong at some point. It's loads of cars everywhere ahead of him, and does he Oh, he's actually caught the gravel, sadly, on his own, and yet the car behind doesn't actually hit him, just parks it and waits. That's what happened to Jake. Just caught the gravel with his rear left tyre and spun himself around. It's off the road. Who's that going well wide? Is that not Dara, but it's Massimo that's gone off the road and dropped a couple of places back. Down to P13 goes Massimo. Close further forward, full P4. And Steve still in P3. Andrea just behind him. Steve having a good end to the season as well since the change of the livery. Andrea now a race winner here in Anti-Store Racing. Stefano just behind him in P5. Marcelo continuously getting hounded here by Brandon just ahead, but, you know, it's the opposite way round to what they were last week. Last week it was Marcelo chasing Brandon down, and of course we saw the mistake from Brandon. What do you reckon? Do you think Marcelo's going to be racing in his mirrors the rest of the race, or do you think there's going to be a pass from Brandon at some point?
It depends on what Brandon's going to do, you know. We've seen how impatient he can be, like on the last race. He just got just hit the car in front of him, but this time he might be playing it a bit safe. It's a long race. Maybe he's waiting for Marcel to do a mistake, or you know, he just might this time be Marcelo's opportunity to stay ahead of him since he got more pace than Brandon on this track.
Up the inside there goes Robert on Marco. Marco flashing his lights back at him. Marco's not had the best of starts and now drops back down to P9. Doesn't seem too impressed with Robert and really is filling his mirrors. Is up into P8 goes Robert. But yeah, we'll see. Brandon is good at passing cars. But yeah, if he gets to the end of the race, he might get a bit airy like last time. Or last lap, last ditch effort. But I'm not sure if he will in race 1. Maybe not. Maybe just because it was race 2 he tried that. But Aiden Young now just passes another car and up into P6 he goes. So Aiden Young having a good start to this race. It is extremely tight further forward. Stefan is up the inside of Steve, and Steve has dropped from 3rd, now down to 5th. Oh, and not fully actually, they're still side by side. He could give him a bit of racing for this one, but Steve was 3rd at the beginning of this lap, now P5. So Andrea up to P3. Amazing what a win can do, and up the inside goes Steve. Thinks about it, not able to get the move done, and has to stay behind Stefano for now. But yeah, Aiden Young, P6 as well, making some good gains. The top 2 have run away a little bit from the rest of the field. But now Andrea's got some clear air. Let's see if he can close back in the top 2.
Even though Brandon and Marcelo are fighting their own fight there, they're still keeping a gap from P3, which is great for them since they're not losing time from fighting. While the fight that we just saw actually managed to make the cars closer behind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these two are fighting without too much loss of time compared to everybody else behind. When they do fight, yeah, they lose a lot of time. Now Aiden Young on the back of Steve already. That's how much time he lost. He was P3, had a little bit of a fight, and now he's P5 and looking with the car from behind to attack as Alex goes up to P12 as well. In technically Aiden Young's teammate, but of course they don't have a livery for Aiden as he's in a different car to them as he joined the mid-season. And I said to him last week that he has, since joining the No Limits team, he has seemed to improve much. And he said there wasn't too much difference between the team other than being, you know, feeling part of the team, but the help wise and setup wise, it's not too different. But there's more sessions to practice, and clearly the advice they've given him or the track time or whatever has helped him improve as he looks to go into P5, but not quite yet.
Yeah, he wasn't really that much of a touring car driver. He usually drives more downforce cars, but this season he seems to be more driving hardtop cars. So it's interesting to see his different approach to iRacing itself.
Here's a move from Brandon to the outside, not able to get it. That's the way. Yeah, it's a completely different car to what he's used to, and he has definitely improved over the season and learned it. So it's always good with iRacing to be able to jump in many different cars and be versatile in that way. So it's definitely making him better as he goes, because these cars are different to anything else on the server. So if you can drive these cars quick, there's a good chance you can drive a lot of other cars quick. I say that for sure, as they lock up their rear tyres as they brake and they understeer massively with the front wheel drive nature of them. They're a handful, but on the edge they are great fun, and you can have some good side-by-side racing with them, as many people are having now as Brandon stays behind Marcelo for a little bit longer. We're nearing the halfway point. The gap behind slowly increasing. Andrea seems happy in P3. If he could catch up, he definitely would be happy with that. But Robert in P8 currently sits in the prime position for pole for race 2, which the last time he was there, he ended up taking the win. But as we've discussed, passing here isn't too difficult. I mean, I think it was last season, it took Brandon 6 minutes to get to the front from P8. So see how long it will take today. Start being, of course, crucial. These two continue nose to tail as they are. See what's happening further back. Robert on the back of the mill. Will P2 in the championship at the moment, I believe, or he actually might have changed to P3 now. I think it's him or Andrea that's in the second position. It's very close, of course, throughout the field, as Robert has a good run at the moment at P7. Has a little bit of a think about it. I mean, he does look like he's not going to want to sit in P8 for too much longer. Maybe he doesn't want the pole for race number 2. Going to push as we enter the 9-minute mark. Another lap down. Most laps we do all season. It reckons we'll get about 19, so it's a long race for the touring cars in that sense. So they have more chances than they normally would. I think it's a good run for Robert here. Does he look to the inside? He does, but he's too far back and he knows it. And Marco, just behind, will be closing in as well. They've all settled down nicely here, it would seem. Everyone's in their little packs, but no one making too much aggressive movement. Everybody right on the edge, I'd have to say, though.
Yeah, but we are seeing like everyone's just keeping their distance. It's not really an easy track to be side by side here. Even with the slipstream that the car is like really strong on, it's just it's a short track, too short even for these cars.
Robert's thinking of a move, but not quite there. Everybody's just on that 3/10 gap, aren't they? Everyone's just about too far back to make one. Was that Steve slightly sideways mid-corner? Maybe not. Maybe it's his blue rims on his car now making it look like he was having a bit of a moment, but he's not. He's looking actually to fight back at Stefano for that P4. And Young just behind. They're in groups of 3s and 2s, it seems, at the moment. Around here. Calendars are getting sorted for next season. Will you be racing in anything next season, Paulo?
No, I won't.
Ah, that's a shame. But, yeah.
Possibly I will be stewarding on Insta though.
Ah, having a nice, good old stewarding, good old fun, telling people what they did wrong. It's always good to have that. Now, does Brandon have a little look? No. Actually, he goes to the outside. He could pull that off. It would be a hard one. Around the outside he goes. He won't be able to do it. Marcelo covers nicely. Look at that. Covers the inside for the next corner immediately. And Robert has gone up to P7 as well, just behind. So, as they get it. Oh, he's got to run, Brandon. He's got the inside. He's there. His bonnet's there. His bumper's there. He had a little twitch into the fast section there, but he's still behind. Can he get the inside? No. Marcelo parks it perfectly in the middle. And Marcelo will stay there now. Brandon might have the better run on the exit. Marcelo will cover that inside. Oh, much. There you go. Straight to the inside on the white line. Hug it, hug it, hug it. Don't leave it. He leaves it for a second to go to the racing line. Ends up in the middle of the road instead of the optimal line there, I must say, as Alex Richardson has entered the pit lane.
He can tell Marcelo that Brandon is getting a bit impatient at this moment.
Yes, just a little now, as Alex has had an issue and had to enter the pits and then jumped apparently to the pits. So now Alex seems like he may be out of the race, which unfortunately he was running well. The car incident between 709 and number 9 is no longer needed to be investigated with Ferran and
Ferran.
Yeah. Marco, yeah. So I'm not sure, we didn't see it, but the stewards decided that no real further action. So a little bit of racing happening between them two, as it is at the front. Doing as they are. Interesting to see what happened to Alex. Nothing's popped up, so fortunate for him. Look at again, Marcelo, not to the outside, to sort of the middle of the race circuit. He doesn't want to let Brandon get the run on the inside. He's happy to defend the inside and allow Brandon to try around the outside. At some point, It almost feels like Brandon's shown his hand a little, doesn't it? I wonder if Marcelo will be able to hold him off. He's got another 3 minutes to do so. It's here. Brandon's trying to get the exit out of the corner here and get a run. But if he ends up on the inside, he's gone around the outside here. He could get the inside for the next corner. He's close. If he just comes off the brakes, up the inside he goes. Parks it on the apex, forces Marcelo to drive round him. And Brandon takes the lead of the race with 2 minutes to go. Marcelo won't give it up though. Now he's the chaser as he immediately looks to the outside. But not able to do anything just yet, you have to say, unless he can get the cut back up the inside. I don't think he will. Wonder if that worked or not from my point of view. But Brandon into the lead. Took him 13 minutes to get there, but he's there now.
Yeah, now let's see if Marcel can do the same thing that happened to him. He could do it. I mean, Marcel still has some pace, similar pace even to Brandon, because he did have the fastest lap. So we'll see it by the end, about 2 laps to go, I think. He can still get a position back, but he is getting a bit distance from Brandon, which is worrying for him.
Yeah, 2 laps to go now as they cross the line there. They had enough time to get another one in, so yeah. Can he get there? But yeah, immediately there is a 4-10 gap, which is probably the biggest gap they've had. He's in the lead all this time. Marcelo didn't have that sort of gap at any point, so we'll see how that one goes. It's still close to P4. You've got Stefano versus Steve versus Aiden Young up the inside. He's door to door and he's through. It's going to be it's definitely a touch, but it's touring car racing. He left a big enough gap for him to put his car there. Steve goes back through it. It's a fight for 5th. Little bit of bumping. Aiden to the outside now, not able to get through. But now it's gone from Steve attacking Stefano to Steve massively defending from Aiden. And Aiden's not going to want to give this up, as they're going to have one last lap when they get to the line this time. Craig's end up in the pits as well, which is unfortunate for him. As you can just see there, the Audi on the inside. So we're on to the final lap as the man waves the white flag. Brandon leading, basically stolen a win from Marcelo. He's led nearly the majority of this race. You'd have to say about 80% of it. But not able to get to the flag in time. It looks like Brandon was going to take this. Don't think Aiden's going to get Steve anytime soon. Who's P8? P8 of the middle. So here's start on pole for race number 2. It's going to be an interesting and fascinating one here. It's been a good, clean race, I'd have to say, from race number 1 here at round 7 at Brands Hatch. It looks like Brandon's going to take it. I think everyone's going to stay as they are. Brandon will take yet another win in the TCR series, followed by Marcelo across the line. Marcelo led most of it, but will have to settle for 2nd. Andrea takes 3rd. It's been a good race all around. Steve's going to have to just about stay ahead of Aiden Young. Robert in P7. Lemille will take P8, which will be pole for race number 2. And it's followed by Marco, which had a bad start, ends up P9. Dario P10 in the end. Paulo P11. Massimo P13. And in the end, the No Limits guys did fall back down the order. Ended up P12 and 13, I think, there, which you won't be too happy with. As well as Alex having to retire from the race. As that's not what it should be showing. It should be showing this. There are the results. It was a 6-10 gap in the end for the win.
Yeah, it was just a case of Ben being really patient for the opportunity. Because it did look like Marcel could keep the lead as he was going, but as soon as that opening spot happened, Brandon just went in and took it this time. So, now Brandon starts on P8. Do you think he can do it less the first position here on this race?
Yeah, he did it last season. I'd have to say that I think it's possible. The other thing here is a good chance. Depends on the start, though. If he has a start like Marco did in race 1, then it's probably a no. But yeah, so it depends on the start. But I'd say it's more likely than last week, for example, I'd say. So it could be a good race, though. You never know. The leader here
didn't happen, though. It also didn't happen.
Yeah, Lime Rock didn't happen.
That's the races he hasn't got from P8 to first place.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll give you that. Yeah, it's not done it every time, has he? So it might not. To be fair, the driver on pole here is a quick driver, so it's not all done. I would say this could be one where he can run away. It's not a slow driver on pole. So Brandon has got his work cut out. So does Marcelo, of course. Starts P7, but it's all about the start. Lemire will start on pole. Robert P2 has one on from a reverse grid. Aiden in P3, and he is looking for his first win in the TCR series. Same with Steve. Steve's looking for a win still. He's got a podium this season, but not quite a win. Stefano in P5, also looking for one. Andrea in P6, already got one this season, but will happily add another one. Here we go. The reverse grid race of round number 7 is about to get underway. Who gets the best start? And again, Marco there in the background gets a bad start. And it's a bad start, I'd say, from Aiden. Aiden's going to get dropped back as well as Steve. No, Steve's the one with a good start. He goes into P2. And it's Aiden that falls a few cars back into P5, it would seem. But it's a good start from Lemire. And he is away and gone, it would seem. And up the inside there, Marcelo is up the inside of Aiden already. And they're carving through not a few corners. So Aiden's the one with a bad start. Marco is stayed where he is almost. And they all file into single file. Brandon left out to dry on the outside there. As they try and file in, everybody works out where they are. Lemire leads. Steve got a good start into P2. He goes. Robert in P3. Up the inside of Steven. Oh, he's actually had to get out of it a little bit there. Gets almost pinched mid-corner. He might lose a lot of momentum. And Stefano might be on his case as Brandon is currently passing the bad start from Aiden in P6 there further back. As they cross the line for the first time. A different change. So Marcelo already looking at the back of Stefano. And of course Brandon now actually getting attacked from Aiden, but he keeps it as he is. For minute 1 down. And it's a good start from Lemire, and he's going to try and get away. Absolutely run away with it as further back there. Aiden has Andrea for company as well as Dario as well. Off goes Andrea. They find the road once again. A lot of movement going on there. I think up the inside goes Dario, not able to do anything. And he backs out. They, I think, stay just about as they were in the end. It's close racing, and Marco just behind Massimo, so they're all a bit close. I think there's Marcelo looking at the back. Stefano, he's definitely pushing him across the line. Looks to the inside. Stefano will defend. But it's not going to be easy for these two to get through the order. Marcelo and Brandon will be trying. Stefano again defends. Leads come down, I'd say, slightly. There is... Oh, it's nearly bumping through the hairpin. It's going to be a tough race, this one.
Yeah, actually, now that I can, see it more carefully, they still haven't, they were that far ahead. Brandon and Marcelo, that is.
Oh, that's up the inside. That's Marcelo. Oh. And there's 2 tags, and Marcelo's around, and Stefano's off. In the gravel he goes, comes back onto the road. A few cars having to avoid. A little bit of contact. I think everyone... It's 3 wide. Careful there. Everyone work out where everybody is. That's extremely close, but well done to not cause another crash on the re-entry. We'll have a look at what happened exactly there between Marcelo and Stefano. Looked, and Marcelo's gone straight into the pits. No, he hasn't gone into the pits. It was just the position of his car probably telling him he went into the pits. Let's have a look at what happened between the two of them here. Up the inside, a little bit of contact, and then his car's loose by that point. We'll have a watch of that one again, just to see what we think of that one. But maybe if we can get one from Marcelo's view, see how, as the stewards have put that, it's under investigation. So he's on the curbs, a little bit of a touch coming up. It's a little one, and then another one as the car's out of control. The stewards will have a look at that one. Back to where we're at then. The lead is as it was, but it's a little bit closer. Brandon's now up to P4 in all of that mayhem, and Marcelo down to P7 again. So a few changes here and there, but Brandon, with all of that, hasn't made any inroads. He's in P4, but the gap to the leader hasn't come down.
At least now he doesn't have to struggle as much trying to pass two other cars on a pretty difficult track. If drivers have like similar pace, it actually makes it hard to overtake here.
Yeah, he's just put the fast lap of the race in. Only 2 tenths quicker than the leader though. But he is a second behind the car ahead, so fascinating. The leader isn't running away with it, and it could be a close one. It's close in the midfield, of course. Marco versus Massimo is happening here for P8 team as Paulo has been passed further down by Stefano, which is just trying to make his way back through the field. Of course, the stewards will be looking at that incident. So they're taking a bunch of different information that they have as Marco versus Massimo continues it for P8. I think the gaps aren't coming down at all really at the front. Still, of course, 10 minutes to go, so anything can change, and it's 10 seconds for Marcelo, it would seem, in the end, for causing a collision. That's what the stewards have decided. So, got P2 in race 1, but race 2 hasn't gone his way. It's almost just like last week, really. Race 1, he took the win, and then race 2, it didn't go his way at all as well there.
True. He didn't finish second race, did he?
No, I don't think he did. So he got good points, but not the he got a good result, but not the best points tally last round. And see if it's probably still better at the moment than last week, but that 10 seconds won't help. That 10 seconds will put him way down the order with how the grid is. A little bit of movements, but no one making too much inroads. Again, I think Brandon continuing to slowly close on the car behinds, but not making the biggest headway in the world. So cars and drivers are getting faster each round, it would seem, making it harder and harder for Brandon to try and pass through, which is good. That's what we want. That's good to see. Hopefully we get even quicker cars next season as well, as the series will be back again for a third attempt. So we'll see if anybody can stop Brandon from taking, well, not only this title, but the next one as well, because this one is looking close to wrapped. I'm sure by probably before the last round, it would look like it might be possible. I think there is 77 points available every round, so that is the max points you can get. And there was a lot of movement there behind, but I think Brandon's up the inside of Robert, and he is into P3 at the hairpin. He's up and past. There was a lot of movement from a few cars behind, so we'll go have a look at that in a second. I think the battle for P11 and 12 has started to heat up, but Brandon has made his way into the top 3 at the halfway point. And here we go then. The No Limits cars are having a battle and a half here for P10 and P12. A little bit of a look there from Jake, not able to do anything just yet. Fran, oh, he's out of shape, and he's going to do, oh, he doesn't hit him, though. It's very close. He'll be happy that he didn't hit him. Barry will be happy that he didn't quite turn in, but it was very loose on the way in from front, but he has found the inside line for turn number 1. And is he going to have to back out, or is he still there? He's still there as they brake. They're side by side. And they're all a little twitchy on the brakes. And behind, Jake clabbers the other car, and Jake goes spinning around. And down into P15 he goes. But, oh, it's gone deep as Fran. A little bit of contact mid-corner, and he loses the place back to Dario. Not quite able to keep it. So it almost looked great for the No Limits cars, but then just as it looked like it was all going well, it's all just turned around on them. Unfortunate for them. Fran. Oh, the inside again. He's late on the brakes. Up the inside he goes. This time he's got the whole car alongside and through. Dario forfeits the position almost, and that was a late move. That's what Marcelo was trying earlier, but wasn't successful in. And through goes Fran, and Marcelo, in fact, has just gone up into P6, and I think Brandon is side by side and up the inside. No, he's round the outside of Steve, not able to get it done yet. And he stays in P3 for now, so it's all hotting up now. Everyone making moves. Everyone's patience is starting to run thin. Brandon stays P3 for now. Marcelo up to P6. And a move and a half from Ferran, I must admit. That late break. As, look at that, Brandon almost getting boxed in as Robert's still in the situation for a podium here. He's not going to let it go. he needs it probably more in the point standings than Brandon does at the moment. So Robert continues to put pressure on. Steve under pressure from Brandon, but he's used to it at this point. He wants a good result on a podium in a reverse grid, but he's left the door wide open for Brandon. It's too late to close it. Brandon's there now. And is this move done for second? And if you're the leader, you got a 2-second gap. 6 minutes to no further investigation between the 9 and 07 incident. And Brandon is through. 2-second gap then to the lead. What do you think, Paulo? Is he going to get there? 2 seconds.
2 seconds to the leader?
Yeah, 2 seconds to the leader.
Well, if we compare the lap times, now that actually Brandon has, a clean air in front of him, maybe it is possible in 5 minutes or so. But he does need to do about 2 seconds, though. My calculations are correct. It is for 2 seconds. Yeah, it has to be about, 3 to 4 times a second faster each lap.
What he needs to hit, that's the marker he needs to hit. He'll know that, and the leader will know that too. So there'll be a fascinating gap to watch for the next 5 minutes. He's got closed down 5 minutes, about 6 laps left. Got the pressure of Steve still behind him. He's going to slowly try and leave him behind. Steve will be happy with a podium place. Robert behind wants 1-2, and Aiden is involved in that as well. He'd want podium to round out start his week off. Of course, Imza on Thursday. And that's at Suzuka this week, so do tune in for that. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. We have racing every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we said about blue flags as Craig gets out of the way down the main straight. It's nice of him just to get out of the way of a few of the cars.
He's catching, by the way.
Yep.
Brandon is catching. He just gained 4 tenths of a second to Lamuel.
So the gap's coming down.
The pressure soon.
Yeah, if he isn't already, this will be his first win, so the pressure's there. He knows Brandon's quick.
But let's not forget, though, even if you can catch the car ahead, you still need to do an overtake, and that's not easy on this track.
Yeah, not too easy, but Brandon would tell you that he's managed to do a decent amount to get it. Emil didn't have the best of race ones, but he got the reverse grid pole, leading every lap so far. But now he has the championship leader charging down. He didn't catch him as much that lap, only 2 tenths on that one. That's really the times that Emil needs to be hitting.
And now I can hear it is 5 laps to go, so can still keep the lead well as if he goes on like this. And, defend on the last corner, because that's always the spot that Brandon has been overtaking. If he just stays on the outside, I think it's enough. Outside of the first corner that we see there, and then stays on the inside of this corner. That's the strategy to do for defending on this track.
Yeah, see what he can do. The gap continues to come down. Again, it's not that much on this one. It's a little bit more.
It's 2 tenths still, 2.5 tenths. So if it goes on like this, he will keep the lead, Lamel, but he needs to focus all on his own pace. Don't look what's behind. Behind is not important. But it is for us, because we can see an overtake here being done.
Yeah, Aiden went wide, turn 1, dropped the place back to Marcelo, but of course Marcelo having that 10 seconds put Aiden back ahead. But for now, he has dropped back behind him. So Aiden runs P6, but will end up P5. Marcelo, 10 seconds will put him a few places back. We're outside the top 10 at the moment as 2 other cars swap positions close to the end of this one. I think it's Ferran dropping a few places now into P11. It's an interesting driving style that into that last corner. Definitely seems to brake at a different point than every other car, and his rear end there has been hit a few times, it would seem. Some scratch marks on the back of his car. He's had an eventful race here.
Brandon is now under the second to Lamuel.
The gap's coming down.
You can see how close it is now. Even distance himself from Steve behind him. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna get spicy on the last laps, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one again. Brandon won't want another last lap incident on his name. Lamille will be happy to defend and will want to take a win. It will be another new winner this season. Got a few races without new winners, but the last couple of weeks we've had I think 3 or 4 now new winners. Last week we had 2 new ones. The week before we had one as well, and it'll be another week where the reverse grid has done its job, worked well. We're on to the last 3 laps. It would seem maybe the last 2 laps. This could be the penultimate one. It's a half a second is the gap. It's coming down and coming down.
Yeah, already is on this slipstream. It's gonna be dangerous.
Almost there. Got quite close enough to do a lunge or attack, but we're gonna go on to the final lap this time round. Can Lemille get his first win in the TCR series, or will Brandon ruin the fun?
5 tenths now. Oh boy, he can actually keep the lead if he goes on like this. I don't think you can get 5 tenths. Like, Lemille still has a really good pace compared to Brandon. So yeah, I think this time, if he doesn't do like a silly mistake, like stepping on the grass from the pressure, he can be alright, and we got a new winner on the series. Just taking it very calmly in the final corners. Do what you have been doing all the whole race, keeping the lead through all the 15 minutes, all the laps. As now we are about to cross the line. As Brandon's still catching up a bit, but it's not going to be enough. It's not just a gap enough from the slipstream. So congratulations, Lamel, for the first win of the season.
New winner in the series here. We're extremely happy with that one as everyone comes to the line. New winner, that's what we want to see. Brandon has to settle for P2. And how's everybody finished? Dario ends up P10 as they all come to the line in the end. Stefano ends up P14. As everybody gives a little bit of a congratulations to Lemille. That everyone, nice little flash on the lights, good little congratulations to him. Good result for him. Steve takes P3. He'll be happy with another podium to his name. Robert takes P4. 2 investigations under. Or P9, the car number 9, both on lap 16. So car number 9 under investigation for 2 incidents with car 5, 16 and number 7 as well. So that's incidents under investigation after the race is done and dusted. But Lemille will be happy with his first win of the season. It was a good 2 races, not too much chaos and not too much dramas. A few here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, a good day's worth of racing. Here are the feature results.
It wasn't a domination from Brandon as people still think it's gonna happen, but no. If the track is right for each driver, they can outperform even whatever skill the other drivers have. You can see sometimes, for example, Andrea, which was great on the last track, now he's been struggling more on this one, even though he is a generally fast driver. And well this time. Started on pole, finished on pole, first position as well with the whole race. It really depends on the driver and the track they combine it with.
Yeah, I fully agree. It is depends on the track, depends who's fast. We've seen it all season. People have been faster at different circuits than other ones, and yeah, a good result for Lemille there to take his first win of the season. Brandon takes first and a second. Steve takes P3 in the end, so that is the result.
Sorry, something is wrong with your microphone.
Oh yeah, no, it's not the mic. It is the hot water happening in my house. Is what that's that's what that is. Post race penalty for 5 seconds for car number 9 in that one, and no investigation necessary for the other incident there. So I think
Around gets a 5-second penalty,
and that will move him away from P11 and drop him to P14. So we'll drop him down to P4. Where does Marcelo finish with his 10 seconds? P13 seconds back, and he'll finish P9.
Marcelo finishes P10 with the 10-second penalty there.
Drop down a few. Yeah, that's how it ends for today. Where are we at next week? Where do we think we're at? Let me just remember. Let me just drop my...
So have some interviews. Some people want to do some interviews, yeah.
Oh, do we have some interviews, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, we get Stephen. We haven't heard, I don't think we've heard from Steve in a while, and he took a P3, so why not?
He caught me
hello.
up.
I've stolen you from Brandon. I'm so sorry. You must have been explaining to Brandon your race, but
Yeah, my missus was just what was
I
going
thought it was maybe Brandon. Oh well, I'm going to
on.
ask you the same question of how it went. P3 in the reverse grid. How about that?
Yeah, it was good. I had two really good starts today, and on the last race, I just Brands is a bad track for me. I found some pace today, and I just could keep Brandon at bay just at that last. I went wide in a corner. I probably could have held him behind me, but he just got that inside line coming up T2.
Yeah, no, good result. Yeah, I did notice in the race too, especially the start, very good starts from you. I'm not sure. Have you been practicing those? Is it a thing to do with the clutch? I know that of course the cars are different. Each one's different. I think the Audi's normally the best. And from experience, the Hyundai's aren't that great to get starts in, but you seem to get almost Audi-like starts. So what have you been doing there?
I've just been playing around with my double clutch to be honest. I used to race the Audi, and Audi's great off the line. Don't have a clutch, so it's throttle control. With the Hyundai, I just find it a little bit easier. And if you can get the magic figure for each track, just get quite an electric start with the old Velo. So yeah, I was pleased with the starts. I was pleased with the race. I had good pace throughout. Made a bit of a mistake in race one. Just touched a bit of a grass in the same tip of the last turn, but that's a nice haul of points today.
Yeah, nice, good haul of points. Of course, next week is the Hockenheim. I think it's National B Layout. Different circuits and with the rest of the calendar. Of course, it's been quite a mixed one. Do you excited for that one?
Yeah, it's a great track, and the B layout is really suits TCRs. Yeah, you've got to be careful on the curb, one of the turns, and the rest of it is just down to balance, especially in the last sector. But I think if you really nail it, it's a cracking circuit for the.
I'm happy that I managed to pick that one in and choose that one. I didn't realise it was good for TCRs. I just thought, it's Hockenheim, not too bad, quite short. We'll go with the B one because it looked slightly better than. Yeah, but I'm good that the TCRs should work well around that. So well done, Steve. We'll see you next week. Congratulations on your podium.
No worries, guys. Have a good week. See you soon.
Brandon, another win, just about. You took 13 minutes to hunt down Marcelo, but race two, not able to get the win. But talk us through how long it took you and how hard it was to get to Marcelo today.
And that was super difficult. As the entire race was just trying to chip away at him and try and get him to make a mistake or something. Yeah, he did a really great job holding it down, and I find with the new surface model on iRacing since the beginning of the year, you have to be like right on this like one direct line, or you just don't have grip. So I was just trying to like I don't know, just work at him the entire race and see if I can get a bit of overlap. And yeah, fortunately that one time with a couple laps to go, I was able just to get just enough alongside of him, so that we had to go side by side through that slight chicane there before the final turn, and was able to get the inside line going around the last corner. So yeah, yeah, it was really tight there. It was like really close. That was some really great racing, and yeah, that was just really good time, really clean race.
Yeah, it was good. Great. Good to see Marcelo back towards the front end, challenging you there, and also taking the pole from you as well. But that was weird. You've had a weird couple of weeks where you're not starting where you normally would be. But yeah, race two, a bit more calm and collected for you. Well, I would say calm and collected. More places you had to make up throughout the race, but you kept your nose clean as always. A little bit of an instant just up ahead of you. But did you see anything on that?
Yeah, like it looked like the incident had yeah, it looked like I think Marcelo was going for a dive up the inside, and like I don't blame him. It is tough to get alongside somebody, and he saw a gap there, and I think he just sent it there, and I think he clipped a bit of grass, and it pitched his car to the left, and I think that's what happened there. Yeah, unfortunate for both. Um, it was good for me. I had two positions, but yeah, just one of those racing things. I And yeah, just like the I didn't show up for the interview last week. I was feeling really bad. I was kind of doing something similar. I just tried to take more than I could get, and yes, it's tough. You gotta get everything you can, and yeah, when there's an opportunity, you kind of have to go for it. So yeah, just really tough racing, but really great stuff from everybody, and I don't even know where we're at next week, but yeah, we'll take a look at that, and yeah, we'll have some more great racing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, next week is the Hockenheim National B layout is where we're at next week.
Okay, Hockenheim, that should be a lot of fun, and yeah, the short layout that's gonna create some really great action. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and so it's always great running with these guys as always. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that, and so it's a really great racing today.
Well done. Congratulations, Brandon, on your win and your second. See you next week for another good week of racing. You're getting closer to the championship now, I think, but I'm not sure if it's mathematically done next week or not. But you're getting close, so congratulations on that one.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one, and congrats to Lemuel. Really great run there in the second race, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time, Brandon. Right, Paulo, have a good week of racing. Brand Thatch is always great fun. Good racing, good clean racing too. A little bit less chaotic than a few other rounds this season, but some good racing nonetheless. Of course, Hockenheim next time. It seems like the drivers are excited for it. What do you expect?
And it's actually a really good track for racing in general. Like in any season, especially now because we don't get that. I would say a bit of a chaotic hairpin on the full layout. It should be better for these cars to just do the squared shoulder corner.
Yes.
But yeah, that's next week. But still, Thursday we got Suzuka. There will be nighttime. The race.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be nighttime.
I think I remember hearing about this at the start of the season. That could go down very, very well. Do everyone watch us on Thursday night at 7 for that one? Well, I think it's definitely 7. Well, you could always join 45 minutes later at 7:45 after qualifying. It is in the darkest, Paulo said. For Suzuka, an hour's worth of racing in the IMSA series with the hypercars, LMP2 and GT3s. Thank you very much for joining us today for the TCR series. We'll see you next week, same time at Hockenheim for round number 8.